back. The Nigerian community in Johannesburg, South Africa, are quite unhappy at the moment and have organized a protest reacting to the unfortunate death of Mr. Zoa Nat, who reportedly died while in custody at the Johannesburg Central Police Station. The demonstration also addressed concerns about the alleged intimidation and harassment of Nigerian businesses in the area. And that's what we will be focusing on. Let's see whether those are visuals you see Nigerian people not quite happy with how they are treated in the South African nation. Let's take a listen to this gentleman.
In the memorandum that we're submitting, we're expecting an answer or investigation to be wrapped up or concluded as soon as possible, knowing that the family back home in Nigeria, they are mourning and they don't have any closure at yet. As we speak, the body is still in the mortuary. Autopsy has not yet been done. So as soon as we can hear from him, then we will be able to have closure to this matter. But if the time frame that we have specified, we didn't hear anything, then our legal desk will take it up.
I don't have a wedding ring because my wedding ring was stolen from me. My charger was stolen. My AirPod was stolen. My perfume, my hand cream in my bag, they were all stolen. My money was stolen. My goods were destroyed. I am hurt. I am a human being. First, I'm a human. I'm an African. I'm a Nigerian. My life matters.
I want a proper investigation to be carried out, especially I feel nobody deserves to be mistreated. I think there are laws that are, everyone is protected by the law. As far as you are in South Africa, you're covered by the law of the land of South Africa.
Well, it's not only in South Africa that Nigerians are complaining about their safety and their well-being. We just saw a report from Taraba State as well, where we understand that about 500 persons have been reportedly killed by bandits in Usa local government area, with over 100 communities, border communities, deserted in the last 2 years. Now, a State Assembly member representing one of the constituency disclosed this to journalists, maintaining that his constituency have been overrun by bandits from the Republic of Cameroon, with over 7,000 locals now displaced, which is going to be the basis of our conversation, talking about the protection of Nigerian lives and businesses wherever they are in the world, especially outside our country. And I'm being joined on the program from our Abuja studio by a former army spokesperson, Brigadier General Sani Usman. General, thank you for joining us on the program, sir.
Good evening, and thank you for having me on your program.
General, let's just get started this way. Now, despite being the biggest economy, now because you are a security expert, you've been in the army, got to the rank of a general, having the responsibility to protect our sovereignty, which is why this question is appropriate for those of you who are passionate about protecting the lives and the integrity of our country. Now, despite being this biggest economy, most populous black nation on earth, Nigerians continue to be easy targets, even in African countries. Do you wonder why? General?
Unfortunately, I got the last part of the question. You asked me whether I wonder why. And I don't know whether beyond that you have asked any other question. But okay. I think I'm not surprised at all Nigerians being easy target by particularly some other nationals in their country. The report in South Africa is quite true because I've been to South Africa several times, and for obvious reason, even among the military during peacekeeping operations, there is this kind of jealousy or unnecessarily competitiveness against Nigerians. For whatever reason, I think it is a kind of envy of the blessings God has given us. So, but that notwithstanding, again, the nature or the way some of our citizens conduct themselves to a large extent also have a longer, to rub on the relationship between them and the host community. So this is an embodiment of so many factors. But beyond that, I think we should be concerned why Nigerians are easy target for obvious reasons, and we have to imbibe a mechanism that we should be able to protect our citizens wherever they happen to be, regardless of their dispositions.
I know you had mentioned certain things in South Africa that you suspect could be the reason, but I want to maybe ask you again whether you could identify a few more things, because this incident in South Africa is becoming one too many. What exactly is our crime besides when you mentioned the issue of, you say, jealousy and all of that?
Well, I think one is that there is this enterprising nature and creative nature of an average Nigerian who can turn a stone into something very useful. It may interest you to know there was a time in Costa Rica when I was doing my postgraduate program, I met a Nigerian without even a passport. So you can imagine, and how they manage to get there and how they are making waves is only good news. And in respect of South Africa, you know, the economy there is not the way it used to be. And Nigerians, they being enterprising, people were just thinking that they have taken over businesses. Because hardly you go to places without seeing a Nigerian. So there is this erroneous impression that they are taking over their businesses. And of course, there is lack of understanding also in terms of the relationship. And you know, Nigerians, they have this communal way of life. Sometimes I can remember way back in 2002, 2003, even in Sierra Leone, the average Nigerian tend to be more at home with the Nigerian community than even going to the High Commission. So apart from that, again, the fact that the other thing is that Nigerians are involved in some kind of unpleasant things. For instance, I could remember when they see you dressed like this, the next thing they will start asking you questions that are really not something that you'll be so proud of. So a lot of factors. But in the case of South Africa, that is it. But beyond that, again, I think the problem is that is lack of understanding of an average Nigerian the world over, because they think they are domineering. They have come to take over, you know, the community or the society, as the case may be, simply because a Nigerian is always being himself or herself, as the case may be. Because, and to a large extent, that brought to the question about, you know, the issue of, you know, the environment itself. Because an average Nigerian is usually a very resilient and hardworking person. So whenever he finds himself, wherever he or she found himself, they always make it a home or dominate the environment. So these are some of the factors. But I think to a large extent, it's just the issue of lack of understanding of an average Nigerian. Apart from the fact that some of them are really involved into unpalatable things. Take, for instance, the so-called Italian mafia. Now, way back when we went on study tour in 2018, we were made to understand that the Nigerians are gradually taking over the Italian mafia itself. So you can imagine what more of an African country when you have a Nigerian that he can turn things, you know, around General. And so on. So to me, that is the understanding. I can...
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, General, I wanted to butt in so I can bring in our second guest to join you in the conversation. I'm being joined right now on the program by Professor David our Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies, University of Lagos. Prof, thank you so much for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Prof, let's get straight to it. The General has been giving us his perspective, but we know, like in any country, there are bad elements amongst us. But majority of us are not criminals, else there won't be a country. Yet, we are painted with a common brush, some sort of collective punishment. How can we reverse this, given what you've seen, if you've been watching on the screen?
Thank you. There isn't too much we can do, unfortunately, except to encourage our people to be more law-abiding in wherever they find themselves. Because that's, whether we like it or not, that's a major issue. The other time I was in South Africa, I was at the Nigerian High Commission there, and we discussed this extensively. The High Commission, they acknowledged that many Nigerians in South Africa were into crimes, and that was, creating a condition of collective hatred, if you like, for Nigerians in the country. That is the much we can say, that Nigerians should be law-abiding wherever they find themselves, and they should work within the confines of, what the country provides. Other than that, the rest is beyond what Nigerians can do. Of course, maybe the High Commission too, will have a responsibility to be more forthcoming in protecting Nigerians. We have had cases where Nigerians are brutalized, Nigerians are treated continually in different countries, and the High Commission does nothing. A colleague of mine traveled to a European country where he was manhandled. He was a senior lecturer at the time, and the embassy didn't lift a finger. Where the second person was treated badly, his own embassy rose on his behalf, and the treatment changed. So Nigerians behaving, within the confines of the law in the countries they find themselves, and the High Commission or embassies, whatever they may be, being more protective of Nigerians is another thing that will help.
All right,
other than that, there is not much we can do. Nigerians work hard, they earn money, and they live well, and that tends to attract envy and jealousy from the hosts who think that they have come to take their jobs, collect their money. Nigerians can't change that. Once they don't go to a country, don't work hard and make money. I mean, that's the reason why you even go to another country in the first place. So these are the issues in all of this.
Okay, bro, let me head back to Abuja Studio, where we have the general. General, from the Taraba story I read, the people are complaining that bandits from the Republic of Cameroon have overrun certain communities, and now over 7,000 people have been displaced. I know that there was a report from National Security Tracker of the Council on Foreign Relations that showed that in the year 2022, 4,500 persons or thereabout were killed. Out of them, about 3,900 were civilians, 202 military personnel, 186 police officers, 154 vigilantes, 14 security guards, and 17 others were reportedly killed in 2022, according to that report. How can we restore dignity of human life? Life appears quite cheap around the country. How do we reverse this? Again, that question. And stop these invaders from encroaching into our country.
First and foremost, I don't want to join issue in respect of Taraba. And as a matter of fact, the issue associated with Taraba, the story is different. Different in the sense that within those 1,000 local governments of Takum, Usa, and I think they have not recorded the number, so to speak. And in fact, what is on the ground, they don't want to even say it. In most instances, it is Nigerians that go to Cameroon to commit atrocities and come back. However, let's leave it at that. Let's go back to the issue of, protecting the life of Nigerians, making it to count and all the rest. I think the long and short of it is the issue of good governance. Some time ago, a noted professor of law stated that actually any security or democratic dispensation is predicated on three things. The political dispensation, the social and economic. So that is the responsibility of the government. And unfortunately, instead of being proactive with those issues, we tend to be reactive. Reactive in the sense that we tend to, involve the military and the security forces when there are time-tested mechanisms that can enhance human dignity and life. Basically, it is the good governance. So whereby you neglect it, all sorts of things come into play. So we need to go back to the basis to ensure that good governance is enhanced in the Nigerian society. We have left it a long time ago. When Nigeria imbibed the spirit of democracy way back 1998, 1999, there wasn't enough, foundation laid for this kind of situation. And that is why bent-up emotions and what have you are what you are having now. And unless we go back and trace our steps and make sure that there is good governance. And I kept on saying, in Nigeria, we have three tiers of the government. We have the federal, we have state, we have the local government. The local government is almost virtually non-existent. And problems that are supposed to be local, dealt with at the communal level and what have you, are now allowed to accumulate and dump to the state, and the state is overwhelmed, then dump to the federal government. And the federal government, they use the apparatus available to them. The coercion, which is the
if I may, General,
which is the military, and the security forces. Yes.
My apologies. We're totally out of time, so I was trying to just prompt you to conclude your thoughts. So maybe just one sentence way forward. Just one sentence, if you will. I know you said it so that it doesn't look like I cut you off, sir.
It's rather to reiterate the issue of good governance. That's
all right. Fantastic, fantastic. A good place to conclude your thought. General, thank you so much. Brigadier General Sani Usman is a former army spokesperson joining us from Abuja studio. And unfortunately, we couldn't take so much thought from Professor David Aworawo from the University of Lagos, the Department of International Relations and Strategic Studies. Thank you, sir, all the same for coming through on the program. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming, sirs.